Hello, Capricorn. Thank you so much for being here, you guys. And a real big thank you to all of you who followed me over here again. I love you guys. All right, Cap. So before I get started, just to remind everybody, I read from Sun, Moon, and Rising, but feel free to take this message and apply it to wherever Capricorn is in your birth chart. And please make sure that you're only taking in the messages that resonate. All right, Cap. So this time you pulled Nobility, Harmony, and Atonement. This, straight up, is no longer paying the price for the dissonance created within you because of settling for things that are less than worthy of you. So nobility is talking about setting the higher standards. And it's saying that this is an opportunity now to shift your vibration and attract wonderful new opportunities and honorable people to your life. Now, working with this card talks about tuning in, which I thought was cute with this. Tuning in to your higher self. It says you're being asked to do the right thing and the best thing, even if it's not the most advantageous thing or the easiest thing. It says you're also being asked for a time to be of service and assistance to others and to give. But because of harmony and atonement, this is like continuously paying the price for others who don't know how to set their own high standards. And it almost feels like there's a part of you that has been too giving to the wrong people, wrong opportunities, right? Now, harmony, this one was beautiful. It says you're asked to replace any possible feelings of conflict, judgment, or isolation by attuning yourself to the encompassing frequencies of harmony. It says, bear in mind that in musical terms, this is a vital place for unison and dissonance, and the dance between them makes for a colorful and original composition. And it talks about how so too it is with life. But this is coming back into harmony with yourself and not having that be influenced by things that, you maybe choosing over and over again because it's easier to choose the things that you feel like aren't, too hard to attain. It's almost like justifying the fact why you settle for things that are less than worthy of you. But because of the dissonance that's been created, I think that that's where atonement is coming in, where you're paying the price for this. But when do you say, enough is enough? So atonement, it says accepting the full burdens of responsibility, the fair as well as the unfair, with no discount. And then the sentence says accepting pain is a way to survive the pain. Not all things burn, but some should. But I love the last part of this. It talks about you take the dark end so that others can stay in the light, even if they don't deserve it, even if you don't deserve it. So no more paying the price for settling for things because of feelings that may create like unworthiness, not deserving. But the thing is, though, because we're looking at nobility, it's like you've been denying the fact that you deserve far better than what you've been receiving or what you've been attaching yourself to. But no longer paying the price for that, right? And immediately for me, there were lyrics from A Perfect Circle with disillusion, right? Dis and reconnect to the resonance now. But I get the feeling that looking at this, that some of you realize that you've been allowing, less than worthy people into your experience and you've been paying for it. All right, Cap, so your overall justice. Oh boy. Okay. Making amends, right? Correcting a situation. Fair and balanced choices, but accountability. And you have Libra coming in here, so it may have to do with, others, right? The seventh house in Libra, you're talking about other people, but they are the reflection of you. And if you're putting out, the vibration of, I can't go for these things because I'm not good enough for them, then, those types of people that match that are being reflected back. And it's because of that, and looking at atonement, that, there may have been a lot of difficult things that you've had to deal with because of your connections with others. But once you change the reflection, that's when, the new opportunities, better, more honorable people start to come in. But clearly here we're talking about whatever is going on, it needs to be corrected. So this could be something outside of you that may be stepping in to balance the scales out, so to speak. Or you may be looking at having to deal with a situation that is, working itself out to become more fair and balanced. And, for some people, right, with justice, we could be talking about legal situations too. But we'll see what's going on here. In the past, you have the past. So, and here's the thing, looking at your oracle cards and what you're pulling right here, with the Six of Cups, this is like looking back at, the good memories, right? That's where the nostalgia comes in, where we tend to look at things in the past in a much different light than what they were. And a lot of times it's like, the rose-colored glasses, right? So you may have been continuously reflecting on the past and past good emotions or a past good connection. But clearly there's something about this that needs to be corrected or balanced out. Now, absolutely, this could be about a person that's coming back from the past, which is why soulmate connection tends to get, attached to this one. Oh, in the present, and yeah, it would make sense why justice is there. So the Seven of Swords, while you have been sitting in the past looking at, positive emotions surrounding a possible connection, in the present moment, though, you're also dealing with the fact that there may have been lies, deception, cheating. Now, the other thing, though, too, with the Seven of Swords, we could be talking about, you being quiet about your own plans. But I don't think that that's it because of justice being there, right? Like, this is, about it. It's no longer hidden. It's out in the open. And it may challenge the beliefs that you had previously while looking back at the past. And maybe these are things that you didn't want to reflect on, but they're making themselves known and apparent in the present moment. Future conditions, yeah, the Hierophant, so it's challenging your beliefs, right, and the structure of those beliefs. Here we're talking about, higher education, absolutely, and higher spiritual understanding through difficulty, but it also talks about conformity, doing things in the traditional way. It's things set within a certain structure. So if we're talking about your beliefs may be being challenged by what is happening within the present moment if you're realizing that you're being deceived or lied to. And this is where, you start to look at whether or not the beliefs that you were holding back in the past are actually, correct or fair or balanced. Maybe you've been giving too much credit to someone who doesn't actually deserve it. And then I kind of go back to the oracle cards for that. But here in future conditions and looking at justice, right, it's about how your belief structure is being challenged. And it may also be you going back to certain knowledge that you may have gained about, spirituality and belief structures. And there may be, the solidifying of, your actual beliefs about this situation, where, you're not looking back at things from only one viewpoint because you only want to see the good in this person, this situation, whatever it may be. you've got Libra, and then you've got Taurus energy. And this is where we start to look at, the fixation when it comes to the beliefs. And has it created, this fairness and balance that you're looking for? Now, this absolutely could be somebody coming back through that may be, revealing some things that they have kept hidden, and it may challenge the beliefs that you have had. But either way, with justice, we're talking about amendments being made, accountability, things being corrected. Wow, man. So now you got Virgo. The Hermit as your best path to follow. This is where, when we're talking about making fair and balanced choices, that you really need to go within and do the self-reflection. And really with the Hermit here, the Hermit being at the 9, before we move to the conclusion to what is happening, there is a reflection on what led up to the point that you're at now, and how does it look compared to where you saw yourself being at the end of this journey? Which is why the stars and the lantern, right? But taking a step back from this situation and not being influenced by, past emotions or what is happening in the present moment and what that might mean in the future, right? None of that stuff matters. This is really you needing to ask yourself the deeper questions. Is this where I wanted to be? And if it's not, then what decisions do you have to make to balance out the situation? You don't want to be responsible for somebody else's mistakes. And that's the other thing, because of atonement showing up. Oh, in your environment, the 2 of Swords. And it makes sense, right? When you're confronted with things like that, with the 7 of Swords, a lot of times, especially with you coming in with the 6 of Cups, there's this tendency to want to ignore certain things. I didn't see that. And you're doing that in order to protect yourself, but you know that a difficult decision is going to have to be made. And a lot of times the 2 of Swords can indicate struggling with the decision to cut something or someone out. And you know that there's something that you're going to have to do about this, because, right? If somebody's coming through and they're trying to correct things with you, and they're trying to be like, yeah, so this is what I did. It's almost like they're doing this in order for you to make a decision that is more reflective of what they're wanting you to do, rather than what you think is right for you, which is where I go back to the Hermit. There are some things that you're going to have to look at in regards to this, regardless of how difficult it may feel. But I really think that somebody's actions are going to challenge your previous beliefs about the connection that was made. Your hopes and your fears, the Knight of Cups, right? So, we want to have those emotional connections. And when you're looking at the Knight of Cups, this is somebody who is acting from their heart, but they have a tendency to be led astray by those emotions. So, we want to offer that emotional connection with the hopes that, somebody is meeting us along the way, wanting to experience the same thing. But are you getting, carried away with past feelings that may be clouding you from, really seeing the reason why the 7 of Swords took place in the first place, right? So, this is where I feel like if you're talking about somebody trying to make amends, they want you to make a decision to go back to the emotions that you may have had in the past, but with no kind of guarantee that this will not happen again. I almost feel like what's being said to you is just so that you can they can reveal it, so that they can be done with it, and then get you to go back to a feeling place where you used to be. And the thing is if you're honest with yourself, did you ever really want to be connected with a person who could do something like this to you, whether or not you have the capacity to forgive? Do you see what I'm saying? That's where I think the realization of the patterns of accepting, things that are less than worthy of you are going to start to come into play. But you have to see it for what it is and be able to make the choice that is best for you, not them. Because you can forgive them, but you don't have to allow them back in. And that's where I'm kind of like, with the Knight of Cups. And then, the hope here is that the emotional connection is felt, and that, this person is accepting your feelings, but then also you, them, but are you being led astray? Like, I can't help but look at that with the Seven of Swords being there, and this need for things to be fixed or balanced. If you feel like you're being pulled emotionally to make a certain decision that's going against what you truly feel, that's where we have to hit the pause button. But this may be difficult for a lot of you because it almost looks like, whatever this person did, it challenged your beliefs big time. Ooh. Coming out, Judgment. Okay. And look at it, right? So you start off with the Six of Cups, where we're talking about the nostalgia, the rose-colored glasses, right? Looking at things from a beautiful perspective, which may have absolutely been there at one point, but whatever, was done made that like totally unsustainable. Now, looking at Judgment coming out, we're talking about the wake-up call with the way that you've been looking at the past. And this is where it's time to start to take action to rise above that, right? And then not only that, but what is the truth of this being resurrected in the first place? So my question immediately is, if you're dealing with a person who is trying to make amends, what are they looking to gain from you by trying to get you to make a choice that they want you to make rather than the one that you feel like is more in resonance with who you are, what you wanted, what you originally intended? Wow, man. And look at it coming all the way up. This is going to be an eye-opener, I think, for a lot of you, especially if, somebody who has hurt you is coming back from the past and they're talking about what they did, but they can't really explain the intentions behind it. If they don't know, right, then there is nothing that you can do to cause them to do any kind of self-reflection. And the thing is if this is what's being revealed, how do you know that the deception isn't continuing specifically for the purpose of you doing what they want you to do? Because remember, with the Two of Swords here, besides indecisiveness and a difficult choice that needs to be made, we're also talking about allowing others to fight your battles for you. So it's almost like, let me shade your eyes from this and not ask too many questions, because this is the choice I want you to make. And I think once you, do your own inward reflection and remove yourself from the situation, here's what I want to say: no contact. That's what this is, no contact. That's when the revelation happens, so to speak, with Judgment. Holy crap. The Nine of Swords, the Moon. I'm telling you. And then you have the Seven of Wands. This is where you're no longer allowing your beliefs to be challenged in this way. And that may be where, this person is making you think that, you should be forgiving, you should be accepting, right? Let me lead you astray emotionally so that you do what I want you to do, or you make the choice that I want you to make. And this is where you're not backing down, because you see the illusion for what it is. Although with the Six of Cups and the Nine of Swords here, you realize that your past thoughts about this person, this situation, may not have been entirely accurate. There's two sides to this, just like everything. There's the beautiful emotions and the beautiful connection, but with the Nine of Swords clearly here, what you're reflecting on brought up fears. And you may be like struggling with, what do you do about this? How do you think about this? But let me just remind you again, that if they can't be clear about their intentions for revealing the deception in the first place, or why they even did it, there is nothing that you can do that will cause them to do their own self-reflection. The moon, it is not what it appears to be. And it's that kind of confusion and the fears that are being projected that are going to make you look at that in a way where you can no longer ignore it. And then with the Seven of Wands, again here, we're defending our beliefs. And again, right, this whole situation is happening so that there can be balance restored to this. And accountability in this situation does not belong to you. This is almost like somebody blaming you for what they do. Like, I know what I did was wrong, but you know, if you would have done this, that, or the other thing, then maybe that wouldn't have happened. That's a bunch of fucking bullshit. Wow, man. But yeah, the moon, right? Like, whatever is coming back, whoever is coming back, it's bringing up fears that may have been suppressed about the situation to begin with. Because this is out in the open. You know what this is. But I love the fact that Judgment here, it's like this is what you were meant to see while you were focused on something that was a little bit more beautiful, but may not have been the full truth of the situation. Not going to be for everybody, but for those of you who understand what I'm saying, you're going to feel this immediately. Trees. What do the trees have to say? Teach. Okay. Truth. And then play. This situation may be a learning lesson, and absolutely it can be turned into something that you can use to help others, you know, and again, right, being called to be of service to others. The best way that we teach each other is by talking to each other about the experiences that we've had and what we have learned, what we have thought, and what we have felt about them. So a learning experience here that turns into something that you will be able to teach others, but it's teaching you the truth. And the truth is that you need to go back into harmony with the voice of your higher self and no longer allow yourself to be influenced by other people trying to manipulate you to make decisions that they want you to make, right? But play. Once the lesson has been absorbed and you see the truth, this is where there is the freedom to be able to be more playful in the experiences that you have. You don't have to keep going back to past situations like this, right? But the universe teaching you the truth so that, you know, there's more play, more enjoyment with your experience. But I'm telling you, right, no longer paying the price for the dissonance created within you because of settling for things that are not worthy of you. You know you deserve better than what you've received. You are good enough. I'm telling you. a fiery climax approaches, and with judgment, oh yeah, I would say that if you're dealing with somebody that has been deceptive, they're going to also get the huge wake-up call. But this is where finally the ending of this situation starts to come into sight, right? It reaches its breaking point, and that is where I feel like with the Seven of Wands, you're not backing down. You're protecting your values, you are protecting your beliefs, and no longer allowing somebody who is deceptive or, you know, can't explain their intentions to influence the decisions that you make and manipulate you emotionally either, for that matter. Whew. All right. Thank you so much, Cap, for being here. I hope that this message reaches the person that it is meant to reach. I love you guys, and hopefully I will see you again soon.